on a Date, a guide to navigating the 5 stages of dating to create a lasting and loving relationship. Last week we went through the first 3 stages. One is attraction, which, well, first of all, let me back up. Let's introduce everybody. First of all, I'd like to introduce Dr. Love.
Good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Love to answer all your love questions. I am not Dr. Phil.
And my name is Cheryl. My name is Unique Inspiration, also known as Mother Nature. And DT, Dr. Discovery Talent.
Pretty much, I'm the guy behind
the scenes.
the scene.
But he's in the front tonight, so he can be part of our show. So thank you for being patient with us tonight. Yes.
I will add a note to my introduction.
Okay.
I will answer most of your love questions. However, I'm not a perfectionist, but I do have a great deal of experience. So, with that said, if you have questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to us at 561-531-6092. Ask your questions, tell me your comments and your concerns, and I will get back to you.
So in other words, you're better than Dr. Phil.
I'll try, but hey, you know what? You give me your questions, and then I will relay an answer to you.
You know the best part I like about this show? It's there's no cut. We are as real as it can be.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I hope people can call you and really pretty much test your skill. Because you say that you are Dr. Phil, Dr. Love.
I like it.
Okay, well, let's just test him out. We'll see what he has to say. Let's start with stage 1. Could you give us an overview of the attraction stage?
If I may, can you please go what this show is about?
We did actually talk about this a few minutes ago, but I'll remind everyone again. It's in regards to this book by Dr. John Gray. He's a PhD, and this is Mars and Venus on a Date. Men are from Mars and women are from Venus. It's the language that we both, where we love, we can't live without each other, but we have a hard time talking to each other is really what it comes down to. So he puts out a book, Mars, Men are from Mars and Women are from Venus, but he also puts a book out for people that are dating in the dating life, a guide to dating and the 5 stages that you go through when you're in the dating process. And that's what we're talking about tonight is the different stages. We really covered in great detail the first 3 stages last week, but for anybody that's new listening to us tonight, we're going to just do a general overview of stage 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to really get into more detail in stage 4 and 5 to end the show. So, Dr. Love, let's test you out. What's the attraction stage?
The attraction stage is where 2 individuals, you know, they meet each other, and the first thing that you want essentially look for is chemistry. Is there a quote unquote vibe there? Is there sex appeal there? Does something remotely interest you with that individual? Do they mentally stimulate you? All these things are a part of the attraction phase. It's very, very important because once you find that, hey, you know what, you're attracted to them and they can mentally stimulate you, hold conversation, and they have sex appeal and they're attractive, then that's the attraction stage.
Well, thank you so much. You did very well with that.
You're welcome.
Some of the reasons why we want to learn about this is gender insight. It helps us to be more tolerant and forgiving of another person that doesn't maybe respond the way that you would expect. With the new insight, you're going to have added wisdom and power to change your approach to a situation rather than seeking to change a person. You know, we're all have different personalities. However, when in a general overview, men and women just attack the world in different ways. We're all looking for the same thing, but our behaviors are very different now. How we respond to certain things are very different. So the more we learn about our gender, our male gender, I'm the women gender,
Yes.
that we're going to have better relationships, because then we can look at it from a different point of view.
Correct.
It gives us an opportunity to have healthier relationships that will assist us in overcoming more challenging problems in our life. As you know, you've probably seen a man and a woman in action when they fight. And they fight differently. They think differently. And sometimes they're just not listening to each other because they don't understand each other.
Do you believe that one of the reasons most women were in a household, there's always argument because of lack of communication?
Absolutely. But if you... it's sometimes I even think it's more than communication. It's just really understanding that you're communicating a certain way and she's communicating a certain way, and understanding the differences and how the points of view.
I think that
When a woman gets upset, what's going on with her? We just had an incident this evening that I won't share, but it was really one of those things where this particular woman is in a peak and a valley in her life, and she's going through a lot of stress in her life. How she copes with that is very stressful, and sometimes comes out in a different way than how a man would cope with it.
I would say I'm not going to say anything negative, but some men act sometimes worse than a woman.
Really?
Also, yes.
You think?
Yes.
Oh, through anger?
To anger.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Through
the whole
anger.
thing is how you. I mean, you know, everybody has different days, and things happen. When you see someone acting a different way, like you have to stop, and you need to see the reason behind it,
Right.
and based on that, you can pretty much don't be quick to judge anyone. Always give the person the benefit of the doubt, because while the person having a hard time, maybe had a hard day, give the person a chance to cool. But if the person doesn't come back and apologize, you know, it was something deeper than that. So that's how it works. So my humble opinion, this is it.
Well, and what I've learned through the years, and this is sometimes difficult to do when you're in the middle of anger, but when you've got God in the center of your life, and that's really what this program is about, is how we cope with life and strategies, and God is really the answer, to bring him right into the center and just bring it right to prayer. Because it diffuses every possibility the enemy's trying to attack in our lives. And that's what the enemy wants to do.
And also there's something else. For couples, if you love the person act out of character, you have to focus mostly on the love. Don't focus on the reaction, because I believe there's so many couples, sometimes out of anger they say things that they don't really mean.
Right.
But you have to know the person. You have to know the person. If the person was not upset, and if the person in a cool head, will that person act the same way? So before we jump into conclusion, you have to give the person time. Not only that, to act, and the best part, which is the hard part, is to love on that person. You know what I mean? Yeah, we're not perfect. That's what I see. But at the same time, you know, that's one of the reasons women from what?
Venus.
No.
We're from Venus.
Women from Mars.
You're
We
from
can't understand
We're from
where.
Venus.
We don't understand you
Just
guys.
know, we don't even know if these are the right planets, but we do know that we're from different planets. Let's just put it that way. Stage 2, the uncertainty stage. this is a stage where you're dating and you experience a shift from feeling of attraction to a feeling of uncertainty with a partner that are they right for me? And believe it or not, this is a very normal stage to be in. When you really like somebody and you're spending a lot of time with them, you're getting to know them, they may, at some point in that relationship, you hit this stage of uncertainty. And why is that? Why do you think that that is?
Uncertainty is a stage where two individuals they surpass the attraction stage, and what happens is, for example, you have two couples. One's 30, one's 31, the other one's 41, 10 years apart. Both of you have habits and things and vices that you're accustomed to doing your own way. And the thing is, in the stage of uncertainty, you have to learn how you talk, speak, breathe, what makes you tick, what makes you talk, what makes you happy, what makes you sad. If you're emotional, not emotional, you have vices, you have issues, you have habits, you may have pet peeves, something that bother you, something may not bother you. So the whole goal in the stages of uncertainty is to learn each other. And guess what? Just like you have to go to work and earn your paycheck in your relationship, you have to work too. But guess what? You don't earn a paycheck. You're simply learning each other, how you talk. And will there be compromise? Yes. You know, there's a saying that I have. It's called you can't have your cake and ice cream and eat it too. There is no such thing as 100-100. There's going to be points where you're up, partner's down, and vice versa. So the whole goal in the stages of uncertainty is to really learn each other. Thought process is huge because your partner may take something lightly, where you may take it heavily. Whereas you may see certain things a big deal, where, hey, you know what, stop, drop, and roll, take care of it right now.
Right.
You know, and that's what goes on in the stages of uncertainty, because you're learning each other, which is very, very important.
Right.
If you don't learn each other, and you simply go to Walmart and take a broom and sweep all the mess under the rug, it's not going to work. It's what I call a loser operation.
Well, and this is also a stage where, you know, you're making a decision whether you want to go back to the attraction stage with somebody else, or you're going to stick it out and maybe move on to the exclusive stage.
Right.
So this is a kind of a crucial stage. But just know that it is normal. If you get to stage 2 and you're feeling uncertain, it doesn't mean that that's not the right person for you. I think, as Dr. Love mentioned, that if you can just stick it out a little bit more and kind of see where it goes. If you're getting a lot of negativity along the way, then maybe that's the wrong person for you. But, you know, you're learning a little bit about each other. So, you know, not everything's going to gel 100% of the time. And this is the uncertainty stage of the relationship. Let's see. Stage 3, we get into exclusivity. And in this stage, we feel the desire to date a person exclusively. We've decided that, you know what, I really don't want to be out there dating a lot of different people. I've passed the uncertainty stage, and I'm really feeling something for this person. I just don't know where it's going to go. So the only way I can know where it's going to go is to give it an honest chance, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's where you decide that you have an honest conversation with each other and say, you know, I'd like to be exclusive with you, and I'd like to see where this possibly could go. Dr. DT, do you have anything you want to add to that?
A lot. The question.
Well, do you remember with your wife how that progressed for you?
Sometimes you find yourself in a stage of dreaming, and
and then you're there.
Dr. Love say, "Oh my God." No, seriously. If you pass the stage of uncertainty, but the whole thing is, when do you know you're there? I mean, to go into exclusivity, that's the time you say, okay, I'm not going to date anybody else. I'm going to focus on you. But at the same time, when, like last week when we were talking, even when you exclusivity, is that if you want to step out and go to your cave and think. Why women always get upset?
That happens in stage 3 and stage 4.
Why?
You know why? Because of the testosterone in your body.
Oh no, no.
Oh yes,
no,
I'll
no.
find right in the book where it says it.
I mean, no. Even if it's in the book,
It's testosterone. It's how you cope. It's how you cope. It's testosterone.
Okay.
It's testosterone.
You think so?
It's definite. I've got it. I'll show you in the book where it is.
The men can be wrong
Going back
too.
and forth. It's like women have hormones. You guys have testosterone. It's just the way it is. It's how you cope with getting intimate with a person. You need to pull back a little bit sometimes.
Here's what I think. As far as going back into the cave thing, for me,
explain what the cave means, because a lot of people this week didn't hear us talk about what the cave means. So explain to them what that is, Dr. D.
I will
Dr. Love, I'm sorry,
elaborate
Dr. D.
on this cave thing.
Yes.
I'm not a person where I get up into a cave per se. That's more for DT, I think, if you have to go to the cave.
Okay.
Okay.
You want me to cover that? Okay, I'll be gladly explain.
But
ladies,
when he goes to the
this
cave,
is what we're talking about, cave. And sometime when you're dating someone, and it could be in the middle of the dating, it could be in the middle of the conversation, you find the person pretty much act out of character, for example, or for example, you're not too sure, you're not 100% sure. This is the time you pull back. That's what we call cave. You take a few days to stimulate things in your mind, to assess things before you go back in full motion. And sometimes women can't handle that. They get upset. They say, I cannot understand this guy. One moment I cannot figure him out. One moment it's all over you, another moment it pull back. That doesn't mean we're not engaging. That doesn't mean that we don't love you. That doesn't mean that
you don't care.
We don't care. The only thing is, you ladies, you can process things with both part of your brain at the same time. Us men, we don't want to assume things. For some of us, we don't want to assume things. We want to pull back and say, okay, is this what's going on? And you process things differently. We process things differently than a woman.
So it gives you an opportunity to evaluate.
To evaluate everything before we move forward. But that doesn't mean that we disengage.
And women, that is very important to understand, because I've heard it numerous explained different ways from women. Some people think, some women feel like their partner is going dark, like they just disappear. They're going dark. They don't call. It might be 3 or 4 days. It could be a week. But really, what's going on is them just detaching in order to get themselves back to reevaluate the situation and find out, do they really care as much as they think they do?
I have a comment on that. Here's how I look at it. For example, myself, if I'm gonna, I guess, pull back, I think I'm going to bring it up and say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna take a few days, and I need to get my thoughts together. Because for me, how I look at that is communication is extremely important to me. Even with a woman or with a lot of women, sometimes they'll pull back and not say anything, or they'll take, a few days off or a week, and you want to know what's going on, and they don't have to tell you. Vice versa for a man. So when it comes to that, I think communication is very key. And when a woman or a man does pull back, to me, you're at liberty to, stay or move forward, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're staying or going. So you're always at liberty to move forward or stay, but it's at your discretion. Now, the reason why I say communication is because you know where you stand. Well, not that, but you know more what's going on. You're not left hanging. You know what I mean? It's not like the guy went ghost. If he goes ghost, then you don't know what's going on. What did I do? What's happening? Am I attracted? Did I say too much? Did I not talk enough? Maybe I said the wrong thing. So you'll have quite a few things that will be puzzling in your mind as to what did you do right, or what did you do wrong. So I think that communication, it does play a factor in the cave thing. I know for a fact that when it comes to the immediate connection or conversation with a woman, I'll always let a woman know what my actions are. Always will. So that's my thoughts on that.
Well, I would like to say both you men are of the unordinary, because a lot of men won't give a woman that information. I will tell any woman that's listening out there that this is a time for you to, if a man pulls back, do not chase them. This is not the time to chase them and go after them. This is the time to respect their wishes, because if you do that, you're going to lose out. A man needs to have space and time for them to process whatever it is that they need to process. And the same for women. If a woman feels that she needs to pull back for a little bit, give them the respect that they deserve. And it doesn't mean that the relationship is going south. If it does, then it's not meant to be anyway.
And most of the time when you see, especially men, when you see men, because women needs what you call me time. Me time. When she decide to get me time, if you really do your job, if she really loves you, if you really love her, let her go. Let her have her me time. Most men, they acting like that. I would say that very insecure. That's the insecurity that's in there. And also, if your relationship is built on the rock, there's nothing to be afraid of. And if, for example, for some reason she decide to walk away, that's her loss. You need to see it that way. That means you're not the right person for her. It's better for her to do it there, and after you invest so much time in this relationship and find out, well, it's not working.
Well, and it's if you really care about the other person, this is an appropriate time for a gift like a massage, or at a spa, or their toes done, their nails done, and because you're honoring what their wishes are, like Claude's. Well, Dr. T. DT. I have a hard time not saying his real name. Because that's like honoring a woman to have their toes done or their nails done or something like that. That's like a wonderful thing for a gift for a woman.
That's sure that you respect her, and you appreciate
she's going to come back, believe me. If she realizes that you really do care about her, she's going to be back. And as far as the guys are concerned, what would you like for a gift during your cave time? Is there a gift?
Yes, there's a gift.
All right. What
You
would
know
that
what I
be?
You just mentioned it. I love massages.
You like massages?
Yes.
All right.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
A massage
I like
for a
massages.
man.
I'm
right.
on my cave, you know
See
what
that?
I mean? I
We're-
love that. Come with a glass of wine,
Yeah.
candlelight there, and come give the man, bring some oil there, you know what I mean?
Oh, you want her to do the massage?
Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Why not?
Oh no.
Massage.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't have to say anything.
So he might not leave at all if you get him in the
No, no.
Oh,
Let me tell you
I have to go to
The
his
way
cave
to a
at that
man's
point.
heart, sweet, massage,
All right, I got it down. All right.
and cheese, cherry on top, and whipped cream.
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
All right.
You don't have to say anything.
Okay.
You know, you
All right.
probably.
I'm learning. See that?
You're
I'm
like
learning.
this.
I'm thinking get him a gift
I love a
certificate to
massage.
get the massage, and you guys
Oh,
say,
no.
let her do it.
Oh, no, why not?
Okay.
Why not?
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
After all,
Okay.
she's your woman.
Boy,
Amen.
we're in the exclusive
Yeah.
stage. We're moving to the intimate stage. I think that we went there
Yeah.
without knowing
Exclusive,
it
it's
actually.
fine.
It's
Yeah.
fine. We
It's
just kind of
fine.
went right into
No,
the intimacy.
not really.
No?
Not really.
Okay.
The massage is just like, hey, I care. I'm leaving you.
Yes. Nothing
Wherever you
sexual
are.
needs to happen
Nothing,
here.
no.
Just
Just,
that you're giving me this time and
That's
letting
it.
me relax.
that's it.
And
You could show up
I
say,
think
well,
that's great.
baby, I see like you're under a lot of stress. You know what I mean? This is a gift to let you know I care. But I'm just going to leave you alone.
Yeah.
But a good massage.
Yes.
That might bring the man out of his case sooner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Without knowing
Oh,
about
yeah.
it. Without
That's
even
it.
thinking about it.
That's
Ooh.
right.
Oh yeah.
Wow, we're getting some tips here, women.
Massage is good.
I love
mean,
having it's wonderful having guys and women doing this because the truth is that you guys know your side of the fence, we know our side of the fence.
But we would like to hear another woman's side of.
Oh, an idea?
Yes, they can call 561
Yes.
531 6092
I have a
and
comment.
share.
Yeah, please call us and share your experiences, maybe in the exclusive stage where somebody was pulling away from you and they actually either came back or they actually pulled away completely and it worked out where you thought it was not good and it worked out for the best for both of you.
Let me share a perfect story, a true story. I was dating a girl, cute, sexy, you know what I mean? I was not sure about something. I decided to take a few days. I didn't call her. And I was after a week, I called her and said, how you doing? She said, where on earth were you? I said, well, I needed some
That
time.
sounds like something I would say. Where have you been?
That's exactly. And I said to her, well, I need to clear my mind. I need to make sure, before I finish, she said, you want to make sure that I'm the right person? I said, it's not that. It's not that. I have things I need to straighten. Even that doesn't mean I was not thinking about you. And also, I believe that you need some time alone also. I
I
mean,
think that's good.
you know, you need some time alone.
It's healthy.
She said, what do you mean? Did I ask you I need some time?
No, I just sensed it. I sensed it in your anger.
And I said, well, I believe that everyone needs us to have some time alone.
So true.
And she said that I've been alone for a long time. Why do I need more time? I said, well, I
Need a little more
understand.
time.
I understand. It seems like, exactly, it seems like you might need some more time.
He's given her not what she wants, but what she needs.
Okay. I said, it looks like you might need more time to discover exactly what you need. Sometime in life, you may want something. That doesn't mean you can have it. You know what I mean? I said, and I told her, we have to make sure our love tank is full. And I
Did
said,
she understand that? No.
no. I told her, and I said, well, I need to give you some time. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to, and not afraid to be with someone. You need to pretty much be able to spend time, me time. And she said, you are breaking up with me? I said, okay.
Nobody's at home listening to me.
I was knocking, but there was nobody there.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant.
Listen to what somebody's saying.
Yeah, communication
really
is big
listen.
time.
Yeah.
So that means at the end, I gave her plenty time for her. Very nice. Gave her enough time to find out what she really need, not want. You may want something, that doesn't mean that you can have what you want.
That's true.
So
I think it is all about communication. It is, we all in different places in our life, how we interpret things and how we was shown love. Not everybody understands. You have to have your tank full, or love tank full, for yourself. But once you have a personal relationship with God, you'd completely understand that. And that's the difference sometimes with people that you meet. But let's move to stage 4, intimacy, because we covered the first 3 stages last week. We're not going to dwell on those 3 stages as much. We're going to talk more about stage 4 and stage 5. Okay. Stage 4. In stage 4, we begin to experience real intimacy. This is when we feel a chemistry with our partner on 4 levels: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. And I hope that somebody's out there listening that can really understand what I'm talking about. And, I'd love you to call in 561-531-6092. If for some reason you're on Facebook and you want to switch over to YouTube, but if you're on Facebook and hearing us right now, you should just stay where you are. But for anyone else that might be listening, usdiscoverytalentradio.com is our website, and go to the menu and live reality TV. We'd love to really hear from you, or if you're on Facebook, correspond with Dr. DT. He'd love to share your comments with us tonight.
And also, I'd like to ask everyone, please visit www.discoveryidols.com. We have a ton of artists from all over the world that we promote. There's a big competitions going on. I'd like for you to go there, watch their video, and vote for them. And again, these artists, they need your help. It's not like this platform. We create this platform for the underdog. They don't have they don't have money. They don't have the budget for big company to promote them. That's why I created this platform for them. We promote them worldwide, and also we coach them. When they get, that's one of the reasons we create the competition, to give them, to pretty much help them. This is the best part. The best part, you will be the judge. You will be the judge. So therefore, I ask you, show your love and your support by going to www.discoveryidols.com and vote for them. They need your help.
Okay. So we're in stage 4, intimacy. We really are feeling, so we were just talking about the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual place that you become with each other. Physical chemistry is going to create a desire and arousal. Emotional chemistry creates affection, caring, and trust. Mental chemistry is going to create interest and receptivity, being receptive to different ideas and different thoughts. Spiritual chemistry is going to open your heart, creating love, appreciation, and respect. So it's really important in this stage, getting into that intimate stage with another person, where you're going to open yourself up to be who you really are. There's going to be some, you're going to try to put your best foot forward, but, you know, that's where you kind of get relaxed. And, you know, one of the downfalls of this stage is that you get relaxed and kind of forget that you're still in the dating mode and you still have to put your best foot forward. But at the same time, you're starting to learn about each other and care about each other enough to overlook some things. You have to understand that we're not perfect human beings, and when you get intimate with a person, you're going to see a side of them that maybe you didn't see before, maybe in the first 3 stages, and that depending on what those issues are, they may be things you can work with, but there may be some things that you might not be able to work with, or this is a stage where you're really going to have intimate conversations about, you know, some things that might be happening in the relationship. Go ahead. What would you like to say?
I think that when it comes to intimacy, you know, lots of things happen. You know, the ice breaks. Comfortability sets in. You get more intimate. More, you have more closeness with your partner. You tell them your deepest, darkest secrets. You know, that's when, you know, your love language has time to take place. You know, did you like physical touch? You know, one thing could lead to the other thing. You know, could lead to arousal. It's a place where you find out a lot of very different, interesting things. You know, and it could very well lead to sex. You know, and sometimes before that even happens, you have to have a nice conversation with your partner, so that way you know where he stands and you know where she stands. Sometimes, you know, emotions overpower your intelligence to where you think with your genitalia instead of your head, or, you know, emotions arise where you need a sexual gratification, where you have to release. You know, sometimes when that happens, you forget all your homework.
Well, this is where you also, as a woman, have to decide if you're going to honor God's way or you're going to honor your way. This is a very crucial time for both parties, because God's way says wait, and the world says just jump right in.
Sometimes it's not the world say jump in. It's the
feelings and emotions.
Yeah. There's a hurricane going on. You try to say, should I go inside the house? Should I run? There's a tornado coming, and everybody say, hey, guess what? There's a lady in red that's looking at you. Yeah. Should I go in? Should I? And you say, yeah, I need to run. And suddenly say, come in, baby.
This is a tough stage. This is a real tough stage, in all honesty. It really is.
One of the reasons I'm saying that, I mean, we joke about that, but at the same time, when you're in an exclusive stage, exclusivity, you know the person. I mean, things do happen. Sometimes it's not because we want to cross the line. Things happen. This is the time you start knowing each other's weakness. This is the time you start knowing everybody's good. I mean, the place. You know where to touch to arouse that person. It takes sometimes your head doesn't work. Even when somebody knocking on the door, say, guess what? Sorry. He's on vacation.
Well, this is an interesting conversation, because for men, I think it's easy to just slide into the next. The sexual part of things, but for a woman, if they really want to keep that man, they're also thinking, oh boy, hey, I want them as much as they want me. The problem is that, will I keep them if I go to this next step? And this is a really tough area for women.
I think for me, sometimes it's okay.
It's a compromise, yeah.
Well,
it's kind of complicated.
It's complicated.
No.
There's
It's
nothing
complicated.
easy about it.
No.
There's nothing
Dr.
easy
Love said
about it.
no.
Yeah.
I think that this constitutes
Prayer.
that too.
Lots of prayer
That too.
for
But
both of you.
it's contingent upon the partner you have.
Yeah.
It's also contingent upon the thought process of the partner. And it's also contingent upon the emotions at the moment. Sometimes it could be the current emotions or the prior emotions. Two different things. Because if you have a great connection and a great communicative partner,
Yeah.
sometimes
No, only
these
one.
things can be discussed
The rest
I don't know which one.
because
Give you variety.
it's like when you're with your partner and you're at a point where you're having an intimate moment.
The emotions are flying. The hormones
sharing-
are flying. Everything's
you're sharing
flying.
a moment of intimacy.
Yeah.
It's dark, you know.
The candlelight's
lit.
on. But
The
this
setting's
is
right. You know what I mean? At that time, relaxation settles in.
yeah.
And this is real stuff.
Yeah. Of course
But-
it is real.
Especially if
very
you have
real.
you dim the light.
Right.
There's a nice romantic song in the back, and you have a candlelight dinner.
Yep.
And after that, you say, well, maybe it's a good time to have a slow dance. From a slow dance, say, oh, baby, you look tired.
You guys are pros, okay? You're pros. I can see
guess
it.
what?
You're pros. But here's what's going on in the woman's mind. If I go there, what is going to happen? In the morning, what is this all going to look like? Is he going to love me and care about me in the morning as much?
No, listen. It would say, well, she gave me a good massage.
Yeah.
That's what that. We call it the next day. Say, baby, I really love it. I mean, you are pro. I mean, God gave you 10 fingers. Really,
Yeah.
they're legend. You know.
Do you know what God says? You know what? We're going to get right back to what God says. We know what
that.
God wants for you.
But it's true.
It's a tough stage. It really is. And you know what? There's really no right or wrong here. It really comes down to what are your values? What do you want together as a couple? How do you want to move forward? I mean, I know God's way and I know what God wants for me as a person. And I know that I certainly abused stage 4 when I was younger. And if I do this over again, I have to do it a little bit differently.
It's
That's what I'm
okay
going to
to
say
be
to
honest.
everybody. I'm going to be totally honest. Because when I was younger, I didn't think about all of this stuff. And, you know, it wasn't that it didn't work out. It's just that, let's just say I could have dated a few more people had I not gotten into the intimacy stage too fast. I got there too quickly.
No,
And so as a woman, as a young woman, I'm going to say, because I'm an older woman now, but as a young woman, I didn't have a lot of experience in dating. And I really should have dated more to get to know more people rather than jump into, you know, I kind of went...
what?
Nobody ever talked to me about this, so I'm going to tell you, I was just winging it. And that's what we do when we're young.
In the stages of intimacy, it's something that where the connection's there, the bond is there, you know, and when you have a moment of intimacy, you get comfortable, you know, you're past uncertainty, you're past the attraction stage, you like that person.
You guys are good talkers.
You-
That's all
No,
I can
I mean,
tell you.
okay.
I can hear you. I can hear it. I can hear it. But I want to get back to the spiritual chemistry. We're too much into the sexual chemistry.
What it
You don't
is.
understand that.
That's what it is.
It is, but we can't stay in that stage right
Oh, we
now.
won't.
You're making me nervous.
No.
Let's check it out. Let's check it out though.
What?
If you don't ever talk about it, then how will they know?
Well, this is when I would have to talk about it.
There we
Because if I'm going to honor who I am,
Mhm.
and if I'm going to honor God, and that is part of
Okay.
who I
go. By
am
the way,
today,
I'm
that's who I
honoring
am
who I
today.
am now. You know what I
And,
mean?
and I would trust if I was in a relationship with either one of you guys, and that you would care enough to talk about that with me.
Oh,
and, and
yes.
understand
Oh,
that.
yes.
And
Oh, yes.
understand that.
Oh,
yes.
I want to go there as much as you,
And-
but this is the reason why.
I'm not saying oh yes because he said it. I'm saying oh yes because that's who I am.
Right.
And before intimacy, it's for me. It's never oh I have to.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes, personally, sometimes it's just watching a movie,
Yeah.
sitting next to each other, enjoying each other's company,
Yeah.
and
I
guess
know.
what?
I know.
Time is being spent.
Yeah. That's a very intimate feeling.
In my part,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm a poet. I write poetry. Sometime in the middle of the night, I go to the beach with my partner. We sit there, we talk, and also I always carry pens and papers. That's the best time for me to come with the best poems because we cherishing the moment. We love each other. I remember one night I was on the beach with someone I was dating, and a cruise ship was passing by, and right there I was telling her about it. The next day I emailed her the poems.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Just to let her know that that moment that we spent together on the beach, there was nothing sexual about it, but I told her that I truly appreciate that, and she truly enjoyed the moment to let her know that
Be close and enjoy our time that we spent together.
Right.
But the ground rules must be set in place first,
Right.
so that way.
And I can
Mm,
honestly
right.
say this is a really crucial time for somebody that might have this belief system simply because there are a lot of men that would walk away. I mean, let's face it. There
I would
are
say
a
why.
lot of because we're dealing with the world. This is a stage where
let me-
a man might walk away from you because you're not going to go that point with him.
I
It's okay.
was dating, by example, I was dating someone. We spent over 1 year and a half. We never involved in sexually. Okay, and from
Is
the,
that why that relationship failed, or is
no,
it had nothing to do
no,
with that?
oh
Nothing.
no.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, one of the reasons that relationship fell because of her mother was putting pressure on her. I mean, to get married. Because she keeps saying that this man is a good Christian man. No man is going to spend that long. We get to a point intimate. I mean, talking. We spend a lot of time together, but we set the stage. We spoke about it, and I did. Honestly, I told her that I appreciate that, but because we discussed it, there was no pressure.
I see.
There was no pressure. We
There
can
was an
spend
understanding,
time.
and you didn't
we
run
can-
away from it,
No,
which is
we
good.
we spend time, a lot of time together. We went away on a trip. Nothing happened because the whole thing is, we know what we want. We discuss it. We know we're not going to cross the line. We never did. We never did.
That's good.
Yeah. So
And the thing with that is, it was contingent upon the partner.
that's correct.
That's right.
very important
The
because
communication.
Right.
There
I
no
just-
more
that's-
stress.
it's
No
the
more
partner.
pressure.
Right.
because everything is not for everybody.
Mhm.
Right.
The person that left or
Mhm.
someone that did, it's lack of knowing not the person. It's lack of knowing.
I think it's also lack of caring.
Yes, and
Yeah.
I would say probably selfishness.
Because if they care, they'll be there.
Selfishness.
you took it out of my mouth.
Selfishness.
It's selfishness because you're
Because their needs are not being met. Their needs, if they feel that
That's being
has to
selfish.
happen, then their needs are not being met.
That's being selfish, and your integrity is on the line. So
Right,
they're selfish, and also they don't respect you too.
right,
So,
Mm-hmm.
like T.D. Jakes says, if they want to go,
right,
let
Then
them.
right. Let them go to the cave.
It's simple.
Mm-hmm.
The game is simple.
Yeah.
You can't
It's
be knowledge.
right. Letting go and letting God is really what it comes down
Yes,
to. Letting
it's
go and
very,
letting
very
God.
simple.
Mhm. It's really simple, but hard to do sometimes because we get wrapped up. Well, I think as you get older, you understand this concept more. When I was
Listen.
younger, I didn't understand the concept of let go and let God either. I mean, letting go, what am I going to let go of? No, I got to push harder. I've got to do this and I got to do that. And as women, sometimes we want to, fix what we think it's all our fault. Sometimes something went wrong, something we did. Well, stop the analyzing.
I
Just
truly
stop
believe.
the analyzing.
I truly believe that it goes both couples.
Yeah.
If your love tank is full, you know what I mean, and you really care for that person, and if it's the person when you find yourself in exclusivity, you're in stage 4. That's give you an idea. This is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. So there's no need to put pressure. Because if you discuss that person, you're going to have the rest of your life to be sexually intimate with that person. Number
Right.
one,
Yes.
and that give you a chance to look forward for that day, for that night after you say you do. So it's more as a Christian. Sometimes when you cross the line before the time, the next day you have what you call the small voice inside of you. If you have a conscience, it's going to tear you apart. Because you say, okay, the price you will pay the next day when things is over, when you drop that little liquid, so I'm sorry for being graphic.
But it's the truth,
Then you
right?
hear it.
I mean, the price you will pay for a moment, like half an hour, 1 hour, whatever,
Yeah.
the time, but it's the price you will pay. Sometimes you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? You know what I mean? If it's worth it, because
and
the
this
guilt
is-
and everything, and also at the same time, if you truly love that woman, you have to honor her wish. If she tell you, that's one of the reasons that when you have a partner, you sit down and you discuss it. And if she tell you that, listen, we need to wait. If she say we need to wait, when you cross the line, you force her, you pressure her for her to give herself to you. That's selfish. How can she truly trust you as a leader? Because being a man, you're supposed to be a leader, the head of the household. How can she trust you next time when you say, okay, when you tell her yes? How can she trust you that you will honor your word?
Right.
So that's pretty much when you come down to it, this is what it is.
And sometimes, it only takes one person to stop the emotion of that. Just to say, let's just wait until we get over here. Simply because that person might not be ready for that step, and everybody's in a different place. But like I said, I don't think there's any right or wrong answer. I only know the answer for myself. And I'm not here to preach one way or the other on this stage and how to go.
sister.
Because I've made my own mistakes in my life, and I've made good choices and I've made bad choices in my life, and so
That's
I
why
am
we call
not
we
the
not
person
human.
to say anything one way or another. I can only say where I am today. Let's just talk about the power of love when our hearts are open and we learn to love and respect and appreciate each other. We're capable of supporting each other even when we're not perfect. So we're learning about each other, and because of the power of love, we're learning that I can still love you even when you're not perfect. And that's a nice place to be. That's a nice place to be.
It's a nice place to be, but I think that for a lot of people, they may not understand that concept.
They don't understand that concept?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because they're so used to being them that they don't know how to get out of their own selves to even comprehend a concept like that. What's easy for me might be hard for you. You know,
what is the hard part about the concept? I'm not understanding.
well,
What do you mean?
the mental state, you know,
Of accepting another person as being less than perfect, you mean?
right.
Okay,
You
so
know,
so you're saying a person that thinks perfection is got to be there.
well, not perfection per se, but you know, the best, if you will, because more often than not, people are so afraid of the unknown, or you know, the realistic person and their downfall versus what they want, you know. And I say that because more often than not, it happens all the time. You know, when things get thick, if they're vulnerable, will you be there or will you leave? You know, and reality is actuality. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And you have to take everything that comes with that. It's literally life.
But that's where I think spirituality comes in.
That too.
Because that, I mean, if you
Okay, put it like this.
yeah, everybody's at different places, and I know we're speaking about spirituality a lot, we're speaking about God a lot. For anybody that might be out there and you're like, this is really foreign language to me, I just want to say that there is no love better than Jesus. And when we talk about the love tank, I think that's important to have some conversation about that, because that really means that you have learned to love yourself through God's eyes and to accept yourself, because we're the hardest on ourselves, honestly. And sometimes we expect a lot from ourselves, the perfections, you know, the things we think we have to do and be. And truthfully, if we just let our guard down and be ourselves, most likely the person you're with is going to love you the way you are. Unless you've got some really deep issues.
No.
Unless you have some really deep issues.
Let me correct that. The person should love you. Underline that and italicize that.
Really?
The reason
I don't
why...
want you to get burnt. I'm going to move
Oh,
this.
thank you. The reason why I say that is because that's how it should go. When it goes like that, it's a smooth roller coaster ride. Smooth.
Well, here is where the spiritual chemistry gives us the power to overcome judgments and doubts, demands and criticisms we may sometimes experience. And I have to say that's really true, because my husband, I loved him dearly, but he had an addiction. But when I was in a spiritual mode, I loved him unconditionally. I was in a space in my life where, not that I expected behaviors, or I accepted. Sometimes I didn't even want to accept the disease that he had, but I had to love him as my husband. Detach. Sometimes I had to detach with love, and I know that we're not talking about addiction tonight, but if you are in a relationship with somebody that has an addiction, I can tell you, you can still love on them as a person.
What made you love him like that?
Well, first of all, I was married for 35 years, so, it wasn't like I married an addict. I married a person that through life, he became dependent on alcohol, and it spiraled out of control in his life. What that came down to is, 10 years into our marriage, I'm finding out about things that happened to him. I had absolutely no idea. Because, you know, through the stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, I was, what, he was probably 23, 24, and I was, what, 19, 20. So I was pretty young, you know, and I was having fun in my life. I mean, he was a man that took me out. He owned his own house. He owned his own car. Had a lot of materialistic things that I didn't have in my life. He showed me love. He spent time with me. Took me out to dinner. So I didn't start seeing a lot of this till like 10 years down the road. What I didn't know was there were so many deep-rooted issues down deep under. He was using alcohol, and unbeknownst to me, without me knowing, you would have thought that maybe I would have noticed a difference in his personality. But anybody that is in a relationship, you know that addiction doesn't start out being totally drunk. You're not drunk all the time.
Right.
It's self-medication is what it is.
It's
He
avoidance.
was self-medicating himself of all those awful things that had happened to him in his earlier life that he didn't have the opportunity to deal with. By the time, you know, I really realized I'm deep into this. I mean, I'm deep into this, and I love my husband. I have to support him. No, I would go to Al-Anon. He'd go to AA. And that's what we did as a family. My son went, I brought him to treatment programs so that as a family, we did this as a family. We dealt with this addiction as a family. That's how we dealt with it. And so when you're in a marriage, you get married in sickness and in health. And,
That's
you know, some
exactly
people
how it
think that alcoholism is not a disease. In my book, it is. It is. It's a physical. If you saw how my husband died, it's a physical disease. It really does not start out. There's cycles that happens in a person's life, and they are self-medicating the deep-rooted issues. And yeah, there's a lot of deep-rooted spirituality that was not there in my marriage. I had nothing to work with. I always loved God, but I didn't have what I have today. You know, I don't know what to say except that something happens along the way where one partner either goes the same route as the other partner, or they say, no, this can't happen. I need to stand over here while that person does what they have to do. I have to figure this out. And, you know, there was a lot of things in who I was as a person. I had to learn about myself. Why am I with this person? What is it about my past that attracted myself to him?
We have someone on Facebook, Evangelist Blankford, say, hi, I just want someone to accept me for me.
Aww.
Just love me for who I am and not putting material things first.
I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
That's a very, and I say hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome. We're so glad that you're
And you're welcome
making
to
comments.
call. If you wish to call to make a comment also, you can call 561-531-6092. Earlier we've been having technical difficulties, and we managed this evening to come up with a brilliant idea. So you can call at 561-531-6092 if you want to share your thought and ideas.
Really, I think that comment says a lot of things. You know, I really think that men and women, ultimately, that's all men and women are really looking for. We just go and get it differently. We, you know, it really is more simple than we make it out to be. We complicate love. I think we definitely complicate love. But we're complicated beings. And I think that's the way God made us.
To her comment, I'll say this. One thing, or could be one or a few things. Keep growing. Know yourself. Love yourself before somebody else tells you who you are. When you're growing and you know you very well, you won't accept anything. And it's not an act of desperation as far as reaching out, but when you know yourself well, you know yourself good. There's nothing that you have to say. People will probably come to you, you know, and depending on who the person is, they might fall right in your lap. But you should have stipulations, because if you know yourself well enough, you know what you're looking for and you know what you want, but there will be no act of desperation, simply because you know who you are, what you're looking for, and you have standards, and you'll be a catch. That's why the more you grow, the sharper you are, the better you are, because you're going to be something that somebody desperately needs in their life, and you're going to make them happy. So that's the best thing that I would say to do, because it's the most beautiful thing when you know who you are.
And also, there's so many men, so I'm talking to the fathers, and if you are raising a young lady, a girl, you need to make sure that you love on your daughter, because I met so many friends, female friends. Some of them, one complaint they have, their fathers, they never heard their father say, "I love you." The fathers don't spend time with them. So when they get to a place, they miss the fatherly love, they get confused. When with a man, they find they think love is empty, and that's create insecurity in them. And I will encourage every fathers out there, spend time with your little girl. Let her know how much you care. Let her know how much you love her. Let her know that she's a princess. I have my goddaughter, my sister's, since she was a baby, I always let her know, you are a princess. A princess need to act a certain way. A princess means that you are priceless. Okay? We always let her know how much she means to God, how much she means to us. In my family, we don't have any problem to say, I love you. We're family, we love to kisserize everybody. You know what I mean? So therefore, it make it easy for your little girl to have to know who she is, to whom she belongs to. When you plant that in her, it's become part of her DNA. So no man, she will not compromise what is most important in her life. She was not compromised because her love tank is already full. So she does not need a man to come to fill her up. Right. She will when the time comes, she will find that man who will, I will say, the word just escaped me. That it will pretty much complement. Right. It will complement her what she's already have. That's one of the reasons I say to these women, you don't need a man to take care of you. There's no place in the Bible say the man has to take care of you. If a man knows he's a man, he knows his job to look after you. Most women are looking for security, trust, respect. Yes. You know what I mean? Not every single woman out there trying to after what you have, what you call them, gold diggers. No, that is disrespectful. If you're a man, you know, if it's a woman who raised you, you know you have a mother, you will respect women the same way. And that's what I'm saying to men. You're raising a princess. Make sure you let her know she's priceless. She's a princess.
To add on to that, I would say this.
Thank you, Miss Magdabel, for the compliment. Welcome to Global Love Connection.
I'll say this. Adding on to Dr. T's comment, I'm not a father at all. I know one thing. For all the men that are fathers, when you show your daughter love, it's very important. You know, take her out. You know, have daddy-daughter day. Spend time with her, because I mention time so much because it's time is free, but you can't get it back. Once you lose that 5 or 10 minutes time or that whole day, you can't get it back. But I say all of that to say this: when you spend time with your daughter, she's gonna know what it's like and how a man should treat her. You know, as she grows up and as she gets older, she's going to know how a man should talk to her. She's going to know, hey, you know what? Is he right? Is he wrong? And he's also going to know that, hey, you know what? A man should never hit a woman. You know, these things are vital. They're important, and it should never be mistaken. And I also think that a man should have conversations with his daughter, so that way, you know, she knows what to expect, how to treat a woman, and that this word that, you know, women think is gone still exists. And that word is called chivalry. Mm-hmm. It involves opening up the door for a woman. Mm-hmm. It involves, you know, respecting a woman. It involves being good to your woman, mm-hmm. treating her correctly. It involves directing her correctly. A lot of these things, a lot of men, it's not instilled in them. Mm-hmm. So a lot of men are under construction.
Well, a lot of women are under construction.
Oh, I was going to get to that. I didn't forget that.
We're all under construction.
Well, yeah. Well, it's a downhill effect, mm-hmm. because when it comes to men, a lot of men, who you are dictate what kids you might have and what men they'll accept. It really dictates that, you know, where morals and values lie.
If we don't have examples in our life, it's and there could be somebody out there listening where, hey, they didn't have the example of a strong man to show him, to show them the way, to show them the right thing. And I know that Dr. DT can probably speak to a little bit of that, because he didn't have a dad that taught him that, but it didn't mean he couldn't find the way. But were there mentors along the way, examples along the way of people that you looked up to, Dr. DT?
Well, yes, I did not. When I did not have a dad in my life, I'm blessed. Even though I did not have a father, I did not grow up with a dad. I was raised by a powerful woman. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And sadly, even though she did not have a PhD, a college degree, but the time she spent with me, and also what she invests in my life, she used to say, listen, my parents did not send me to school. For whatever reason, I forgive them. She said, you can be a king, you can be a president, you can be a doctor. Yes, you don't have a father, but there's a father that's greater than any other father. And she planted that positive seed inside of me. So I remember when I was in school as a kid, when all the children say, my dad this, my dad that, and I always said, my dad is more powerful than your dad. Since a very young kid,
what?
I said, my dad would say, my dad is, I said, my dad is more powerful than your dad. This is the best part. My dad loved me so much. He makes sure I didn't have any other dad to disappoint me, to abuse me. So my mom, I pretty much gave her all the credit for, beside God, for who I am today. Yes, there's moment in my life that I miss the father figure, but I came to the conclusion that God loves me so much. He loved me so much, He didn't want to share me with another man. That's a father. So that's one thing I keep saying, that I know, I mean, thank God I'm blessed. My mom, she's still alive, thank God. She's a powerful woman. But not everybody has that.
No.
You know what I mean? So some men, I heard so many people saying that not too long ago, I had the opportunity to interview a young man in one of this show. He keeps saying that my dad, when I was growing up, my dad used to call me all kind of name. My dad used to say, you gay. I mean, you will never accomplish anything. You know this. And you call him a sissy. Guess what? His dad was cursing him. Was pronouncing word of curse, not a word of life. And guess what? Later on, he was abused by his own family sexually. Later on, he became gay. The same word that his father pronounced over his life. So I understand that when I hear all these things, I thank God every day for not having a father that could have abused me. So if you out there, you see your father is not in your life, it's not. Sometimes it could be a blessing, not having a father in your life. And what could happen? What if later on I find out my father is a powerful rich man? In some, I mean, I never miss him because I have a dad that filled up all the gap. His name is Jesus. So and also,
and then He's blessed you with a son.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
To really love on.
Oh my goodness! So one thing I keep telling people: if your dad is not part of your life, I know it's hard because it was hard for me as well. But remember, God might have a different plan for your life, a different plan for you. Maybe God realized that if you had a father, if your father was in your life, he could have been abused you. So not having a dad is not something, sometimes it's not completely something bad. It could be a blessing. As long as you surround yourself with people who love you. Another thing I'm asking everyone, during this season of Thanksgiving, go out of your way to love on someone. Call someone that you know is going to be all alone. Call that person. Let the person be at your table. Share a meal with that person. One of the reasons we call this platform Global Love Connection, it's for us to love on each other. There's too many people around the world hating each other. We can reverse that. If all of us make a decision, say, yes, I'm going out of my way to love on someone. Life is so short. There's no reason for you to be mad at anybody. Life is short. Perfect example, not too long ago, my brother-in-law was at my house. We were having fun. A week later, I received a phone call. He was in the hospital. He has a massive heart attack. And that guy was making plan to get, to get this done, that done. And guess what? Life is short. You never know when your time is up. So if you have someone in your life, let the person know how much you care. Let the person know. Don't wait until it's too late for you. When the person lay down and cannot move, cannot hear you, is this time you're going to cry over his grave, or when he lay down in the coffin. I already tell people, if you wait when I kick the bucket for you to say, how much you care,
don't come.
No. I will pretty much give you the finger while I'm.
You can't love me while I'm here. Don't love me.
Don't love me. Don't love me when I cannot hear you. If you wait until then you tell me, oh my goodness, DT was this or that, I'll give you the finger. And guess what? You will be running.
That sounds like Mr. GT. Well, let's move on to stage 5 and get through the last stage before marriage, which is engagement.
Okay, I have a comment there.
Okay.
Someone said, what you are saying is true. However, I believe a father on deck is the greatest example for a daughter. And usually a woman is looking for her father in a mate.
It's very true. That's very true.
That's Evangelist Blanford.
And going back to my own situation, unconsciously, and the next session we're going to do is going to talk about our unconscious mind and what happens on an unconscious basis, maybe when we're sleeping, how we do not, the thing that we want the most, sometimes we can't get because of our beliefs about ourselves. And my dad loved me, but he also had a drinking problem. So when I chose a partner, I was choosing something I was familiar with. So this comment that is this a lady or a man?
A lady.
This is a lady that is
Blanford.
Yes. Thank you for reminding us, because we only know what we know. We're only attracted to what we are familiar with. And so sometimes we fall into that trap. It's a trap sometimes. Now, if you have a father that did all the right nurturing things to you, you're going to find somebody that you're going to be comfortable with, that type of man. But if all you know that love was, and there was alcohol in the house and there was abuse in the house that way, not that my father consciously did it that way, but because it was alcohol in the house, I became comfortable with it. Some of the red flags that maybe were there, I didn't see because I had seen them at home. I saw them at home. It's like, oh, so I was used to adapting to any situation. I was good at being the Camille of, sure, you don't want me in the way, I can move over there. You don't want me here, I can move over there.
So but you were the perfect wife.
Well, well, that's probably true because I adapted to so much. I also think I was given patience beyond what most people could bear. But that was because of God, not because of me. God just made me that way.
No wonder you call you Mother Nature.
That's it. But I like that comment, so thank you for sharing that with us. Did you have
please
a comment
keep bringing it.
Yes.
Bring your comment, please.
We love your comments.
We love it. Feel free to participate. And anytime you make a comment, and I will read it, I will share it with everyone. And if you like to call, you can call 561-531-6092. This is the platform. You can consider this platform, this is your home. So let me welcome you home. Remember to visit us at www.discoveryidols.com vote for all the artists. And if you're an artist, you want the agency to promote you or to play your music at the radio station, you can sign up. And when you go to the website change to any type of language that you can think of, for to make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself involved with, and also to understand what for you to know who we are. And again, we create this platform for all artists worldwide who do not have the budget to spend thousands of dollars to promote their talents. We play your music on the radio, we promote you in all social media, and you can visit us. You can visit us to usdiscoverytalentradio.com. You'll see, go to Livestream TV. You can see all the artists that we promote. We're playing the music 24/7 on the radio, and we also you can see all the music videos, as well as if you go to discoveryidols.com, you can see all the artists right now that who are participating on for the competitions. So go there, vote for them, and if you want to contact me with questions, you can call me 561-541-1878. And again, we have, and also when you go to the website, check the entertainment law firm that sponsor this program, this platform. The entertainment law firm, if you want to contact the entertainment law firm directly, you can call them 561-478-9930, or you can call the second law firm at 305-379-7676, or you can send any question, anything you want to know more, you can send it to info@discoveryidols.com, or you can call me directly. I'm one of the general manager, so I'm the one, when you sign up, I'm the person who pick up the phone and call you. It doesn't matter what country you are. We contact you, we promote you, and we coach you as well. When you get to a level, we package you and deliver it to the entertainment law firm. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Dr. DT, for sharing that, because it's really important to share all that goes on behind the scenes of these shows, because there is a lot of support and a lot of love that goes into this. Stage 5 engagement at this point, it's a very exciting time, wouldn't you say, when you got engaged? Oh my gosh, it's just kind of a you have to be on high when you get engaged, because like the ultimate, the woman get in the ring and how the man proposes is like the #1 thing in a woman's life. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
How a man proposes to her, she's going to remember for the rest of her life. Anyone want to speak to that?
Dr. Love.
Yes. Engagement is a very serious step. Again, you have to really, be sure that, hey, you know what?
You want to be that person for the rest of the
Yeah, it's not a trial period. It's really what it is. It's till death do you part. And when you're engaged to somebody, you're saying that you want to spend the rest of your life with them, and a lot's got to come with that. Commitment, time, thought process, moral compass, finances, spirituality, well-being, cooking, cleaning, arguments, sick or through sick times and poor times, for better and for worse. It literally is what it is. Nowadays, people, to me, sometimes they'll circumvent the issue, but you kind of can't. You have to work through it. it involves exactly what it is: attraction, uncertainty, communication, exclusivity, intimacy, engagement. If you know why you were attracted to them, that should keep you with them. Not just that, but the ongoing work. You know, the love and the affection, the communication. One thing about engagement that you can't change is what kept it going. You know, and you can't stay the same. You have to. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say is Dr. Gray talks about why many marriages fail is not because they will pick the wrong partner, but because they inadequately prepared for it. So we're taking a lot of time to talk about these stages. You know, when you're young, you really don't think about all these different stages you go through. You kind of just jump through the hoops. And you don't really know what you're going through, but as you get older, you realize the importance of the communication, the importance of having the spirituality in the center of your relationship. These are all important things so that by the time you get to the engagement stage, you know you want to spend the rest of your life with this person. But even at that engagement stage, there's work to be done in the engagement stage, because
I would say this is the time
Yeah.
the work starts.
yeah, this is when Bridezilla comes out.
Oh yeah.
And I say that funny because, you know, you watch that show on TV and, you know, the stress of preparing a wedding, sometimes women put way too much into it. And the poor guys, they're just like, are you like really serious?
This is the time you go inside your cave.
Yeah.
Ooh, stay away from her.
Well, this is
She's-
time when she wants you to help her, but there's so much to do, she can't even explain it. But this is a time when you do have to communicate, because there is a lot to get done, and one person can't do it alone. But besides all that, there's all different types of things that happen in the engagement process. But this is where you have an opportunity as a couple to create lasting memories, and you have learn to have that special love for each other. And it's a time to practice basic skills of loving before the test of marriage.
Yes.
And that's the truth of it. And, you know, it is a scary stage, because we've all heard it right before getting married. Everybody, sometimes it happens where they get wet feet. One party or the other gets wet feet. Anybody can speak to that at all?
When you say wet feet,
They're nervous about taking the actual step and saying the vows. They've
well,
got the ring. They all get comfortable. It's been maybe 7-8 months, and you know they plan the date. Or sometimes things still can fall apart here.
I think that you shouldn't have wet feet, because
What happens?
yeah, but see,
Usually women have wet feet.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
More so than men?
Okay. You have to know what you sign up for from the beginning. The reason why I go back to the beginning all the time is you have to ask yourself if you're ready. You have to ask yourself if you're ready to be loved on. You have to ask yourself, do you want to be loved on? Are you ready to, Are you ready, willing, and able to be loved and give love?
Well, Dr. Love, I'm going to ask you something.
Go ahead, please.
Do you really think that you're not going to learn something new you didn't know before? I mean, when you get engaged, then you move into the marriage. Do you think that there's going to be a few things you still might learn about that person after you get married?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
No.
That you didn't know before?
No.
Oh.
There's more.
You really think you're going to get it all in these 5 stages?
I didn't say that.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say that, but
Because I'll tell you what, if I want to see you married for 35 years, and 35 years later I want to hear your story.
Now, remember the whole time she's been in her best behavior. After
It's
she
right.
said she'd do,
That's right.
that's the
Things
time you
change.
see.
I don't care how much you talked about it. I don't care how much you loved about it. It does change because stress happens. Children come into the picture, and you can talk it all all you want. But the truth is just still there's a lot of work to be done.
I can tell you one thing.
What?
Roller coasters, they don't just go up and down.
Yeah.
They go round and round too.
Yeah.
Trust me.
So what are you saying?
Life is never a straight shot.
Yeah.
Just like you have regular roads that have bumps and bruises, life happens. You know what I mean? But these stages are important for a reason. Because, you learn the person. The communication is important. You learn how to deal with your partner. Putting faith, putting God, putting trust. You can't just talk about it. You have to really live it. That's why, I might sound like things are perfect. They're not. But when you apply them, that's how you see how your partner reacts. Sometimes it's not what happens, it's how you deal with it.
Well, that's true.
And you have to apply what you learn. You can't go around it. Because it's like managing money or managing a $700 a week paycheck. If you can manage that and have money, I can imagine what you do with $1 million.
I have a hard time thinking that money and love have the same.
No. Okay.
I'm having a hard time on that one, Dr. Love.
Let me tell you why I mentioned that. If you could do the simple things, you can handle the big things. If you can handle the tough times, and tough times aren't forever, okay? But all I'm saying is, if you can do the little job, you can do the big job. If you're on time, you'll always be on time.
Well, there's unexpected things that happen, like, say, a car accident happens. And all of a sudden now, you have a wife, this beautiful wife that you could always communicate with. Now she can't do nothing, and you've got 2 children, and you've got her in the hospital. Who knows? I mean, these are life situations that happen. Like, these are real things that happen in marriage and in life that you cannot prepare for.
And guess what?
You cannot prepare for.
You have to do the best you can with what you can and while you can.
You got to go really deep down inside, and that's why Christ has to be in the middle of it.
And guess what?
What?
There is no book for perfection.
No.
There isn't. There isn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? Steve Harvey always says it. There is no straight road to success. There isn't.
Not in love.
I'm sure that when you're chasing
success,
you're gonna be exhausted. You're gonna be tired. You may catch a fever one day. There is no straight line to it. You're gonna have your ups and your downs. There is no perfect way of explaining success. But I can tell you one thing. There's a way of thinking. Friends to associate with, your goals and dreams. That tells you, hey, you know what? First things first, do you have a goal? Next thing, are you a dreamer? Next thing is your association. The next thing is, how bad do you want it? That's the rules of wanting something bad. You have to want success as bad as you want to breathe. You know what I mean? But
what do you call success? Not what you may consider successful. Success to you may be different to someone else.
Yes, and that's true. Success is described differently for everybody. It depends to you what success is for you. Success for you might be, hey, you know what? You got your own plate and you promoted, and you're working hard that year for that. Or success might mean, hey, you know what? You wanted to save 10 grand, right? And you manage a way to save 10 grand, maybe $500 a week or maybe $200 a week. Success will be different for everybody. And the reason why I say that is because everyone has their own goal, and you have to start off with a small goal, and then, or maybe a few things. Once you figure out what those things are, then you could set up a game plan, which is called game planning. so that way
Well,
you get to
what
it.
you're talking about is success in overall. What we're
Right.
talking about is the success in a relationship. Let's bring it
Same
back to
thing.
engagement.
Right.
You're in an engagement with another person.
Right.
Let's talk about the gifts of engagement and how important it is for men and women in that stage. What do you think is important for a man in that stage? What is the most important thing for a man? Because you're a man, I'm going to ask you that question.
In engagement?
Yeah, and in the engagement stage of being together.
I think it's very, very simple. Practice what you preach. You know, you have to. You know, you can't go back on what you promised. Like, for example, myself, if I'm going to give you my world, that's what I'm going to give you. You know, keeping things fresh, keeping things exciting. It doesn't have to be anything monetarily all the time. Sometimes it's, hey, you know what? Here's lunch for the day. Or, hey, you know what? I want to wash your car and gas you up. You know, not gas you up, meaning boost your head up, gas you up.
No, I know what you mean.
You know what I mean? Two different things, you know what I mean?
Just to make sure we're not interpreting things incorrectly.
But it's so very important to continue to keep things interesting in your relationship.
Well, let's talk about apology and forgiveness in this stage. Do you think this is a good time to learn that?
It's a time to discuss the mental state and how you kind of react / get over it type of thing, because you and your partner may come to a point where your emotion may empower or overpower, their intelligence. One of you have to come to a mental state where, hey, you know what? You have to see, or one of you guys have to stop and see that, hey, you know what? We have to maybe revisit this or come back to it, because somebody needs to not be.
Well, we're talking about making mistakes in the
Right,
relationship where you need to apologize. What Dr. Gray talks about is there's two important skills in this stage that are important to get right, because this is going to carry through to your relationship later and through your marriage.
Yes.
Is apology and forgiveness.
Yes.
And he talks about apology and forgiveness are interdependent. It is difficult for a man to apologize for his mistakes when he does not sense he will be forgiven. So, for men, they don't have a problem apologizing as long as they're going to be forgiven. Men tend to, and I don't know, I'm going to ask both of you.
I can answer that.
I don't, you guys are such good guys. There's not too much apology, I'm sure, that has to go
Oh, that's
on.
on my end.
But what I'm going to say, because, you know, I just love both of you. I think you're both great guys. But,
Thank
you
you.
know, if you have to say an apology to somebody, he explains in this book that men tend to give an explanation, and a woman doesn't necessarily want to hear your explanation.
So why would you have an
What do you
apology?
think that they want to hear?
I think that if they don't want an apology, they might.
Well, no, they want an apology,
Right.
but they don't want a long explanation of why.
I would say that, first of all, you have to be sincere with your apology. You have to know why you apologize for, and at the same time, men tend, when you try to explain things, you lost.
You got that
bury
right.
yourself
That's
deeper.
it. So listen to this, because this is very important. This is very important, what Claude just said. You get lost in the explanation. She doesn't want to hear the explanation. You know what she really wants to hear? Is that she got hurt. She wants to hear she wants to know that she's
Sincerity.
heard and that her feelings are heard.
She's
So
mad.
if you can get there, you're going to win. You're going to win. And then apology is not a big deal for both sides. That's both sides. But the truth of it is he explains here the biggest mistake a man makes is going into long explanations. She doesn't care about the explanation of why it happened. What she is looking for is that you care enough to really that it doesn't happen again.
In other words,
Really.
what you're trying to say, she wants you to know that she's matter.
Yes.
If you think she's matter enough to you, you'll make sure that next time she wants to be heard,
Yes.
not to be talked to, not to be talked down to.
To find forgiveness, it says a woman needs to talk about her feelings until she feels that a man understands why she was upset.
So in other words, she talked a lot. But it's okay for her to talk.
And he
Yeah.
talks
But it's
about
not
that.
for the men.
He says, just sit there and listen. Even though if it's uncomfortable, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be uncomfortable. Just listen.
I think her
Sometimes-
emotions are speaking.
Yes.
I mean, put it this way. If you just be a good person, keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything. She say, "Are you ignoring me?" So
I
you
had
can win.
I had that already. I had that already.
Here's the art of apologizing to a woman. Here it is.
Oh, brother.
Oh God.
Well, just say you're sorry. Number 2, listen to her response. And number 3, he says respond with an adjective. Now, who the heck knows what that word is? But this is what it sounds
I
like.
think if it was me, the way you apologize to a woman, you make sure you show up with a half dozen of a dozen of roses.
Careful though, because they could be like guilt flowers. We don't
No,
want
no,
guilt
no, no, no,
flowers.
no, no. You say,
Guilt flowers.
listen, baby, listen. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
Yes.
What I said came out the wrong way. Is not what I meant. I want you to know how sincere I am. Please, would you forgive me? Bang.
It's a good example.
If she doesn't say, sorry, sucker, you're sleeping on the couch.
In the doghouse.
The dog-
In the doghouse.
So that's
We
what
got to put you in the doghouse.
So if you learn anything through the engagement stage, you learn apology, and this is for both sides. It's not just one-sided, but how it's a little different for men. Just as important for a man to find the right words to apologize on Venus is it equally important for a woman to express her forgiveness in a manner that works best on Mars, meaning men need to have it the same way in a different way.
And if I may too,
Just to say I forgive you can be taken by some men to be a put down.
you must know her love language as well.
Yes, that's important. We had a show on love languages, and what Dr. DT is talking about are the 5 love languages, how to reach a person in the way that they love, not in the way that we love, but the way that your partner loves.
Mhm.
You have to speak their language, and that's
Yeah.
very important. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah. Before, I need to let everybody know, so if you are calling, you need to call during the show. And what we experience, sometimes the person, they wait until the show is over, and sometimes it's not their fault. We have someone, during the day, we receive phone call from country like Paris. It's a time zone.
Right.
And sometimes when they're watching the show, they think that
Wow.
we're live.
Really?
They think that we live and they call.
That's
During the day, we
you
answer
get
so
calls
many.
during the day?
During the day.
That's great.
For some country right now, it's in the middle of the day. People are
Yeah,
working.
different time
So
zones.
different time zone, and they don't realize that we're no longer in the air, and they keep calling. And we say no. She said, I want to make a comment. And I said, well, I appreciate that, but we're not in the air.
That's all right.
It's
You'll
fun.
listen to the comments,
Yeah,
though. I
it's
bet
fun.
it's fun
Oh yes,
to hear.
it's fun. It's
That's
fun.
great that they
It's
call.
fun. It's fun. I received so many interesting phone calls.
Yes.
You know, I mean,
It's
when
fun.
they call the office, I say, "Wow!" When they show you when we're not in the air, they say, "Is this the show?" Yes, but you miss it a few hours, by a few hours.
By a
so,
few hours. That's okay.
yeah.
You know, what I want to ask both of these gentlemen are, of the 5 stages that we did, what was the one thing that really stood out to you that you learned about maybe that you didn't really think about before, and that if you're in a relationship with somebody that you might do differently? Can you remember, some of the stages we worked through and some of the things that came up about women that you didn't know or you just are going to pay more attention to if you're in a relationship?
Could be uncertainty.
Uncertainty?
Yes.
The stage of uncertainty and
yes, because
what happens in that stage?
Yes, sometimes you may think that you know the person, everything's working perfectly, but the other party is in different zone, different way.
So would you recommend to stick around a little longer to make sure? Is that what you're saying?
Before you reach, before you step in exclusivity, no.
Yeah.
Stay there, stage 2. Stay in stage 2.
Until you're sure to move on.
Try to get to know the person, for real. I will ask everyone, avoid to jump into sexual intercourse with that partner, because when you find yourself there and there's no more,
changes everything.
And that changes everything. So there's no more challenge anymore. There's no need. The relation sometimes can be dull. You know what I mean? So hold on.
Because you're going too fast.
You're going to put a break, slow down, because when you in a relationship, anytime you move fast, you can skip. When you're in the stage uncertainty, you get involved physical. You become physical. Guess what? You will jump. You will miss stage 3, stage 4, and when you're in this stage 5, you don't even realize that.
Yeah. Because
that's so many people make mistake like that. They don't take time to do their homework. They don't take time to investigate. When you're on stage 5, it makes it extremely difficult for you to pull back, because you have the honeymoon before you say you do, before you say I do. And I will tell everybody, stay a little bit longer on the stage 2, uncertainty. Do your homework. Find out what make the person smile, what make the person cry. Find out the stage, the gravity of their love language, the gravity of their love tank. Find out that, because that will save you a lot of headaches. And also remember, that has a lot to do what kind of legacy you're going to pass down to the children that we're going to have with that person. The children did not ask to be born, but you have to make the right decision. There's steps that you need to make sure. Last time I have Dr. Loveworth mention something. It's okay to find out if the person is a deadbeat financially, because so many people get divorced because of financial stress. Find out, tell the person it's okay. Hey, show me your credit report. You know me. Show me your credit report. It's okay. And also, by the way, it's okay to talk about financing. It's okay to talk about where do you see yourself 5, 10 years from now? Where do you see yourself? The simple question when you ask the person, what make you cry? What make you smile? It's easy.
That goes to the heart, I think.
That goes to the heart. If I ask you what make you smile, I don't care about you tell me, oh, music make me smile. So that's mean I'm knocking at the door, nobody's there. If I say what make you cry, you say, well, when this guy pissed me off. No, I'm not asking you that. I want to know who you are. Beside this veil, remove it. I want to go through you to get to know you. I'm not interested in what happened, what bad experience, I'm interested of that. You tell me, but what I'm asking you, I want to get to know you. You know what I mean? And if you don't have love enough, if you don't love yourself enough to be by yourself, to spend me time by yourself, you're not ready to get involved in any relationship. If your love tank is not full enough for you to love yourself to the point that to tell when the man or when the woman try to give you a hard time to make you compromise yourself, you're not ready to be in any relationship. So that's pretty much, I'm glad. People might take this very lightly. This show is really excellent. I mean, I appreciate that you guys take time to share. This is a precious time, and I hope people can really take advantage of this, because I met so many couples that they say, I wish if I know what I know now, I will not be in the situation I'm at. But they need to spend time to do their homework. Ask, if you are dating now, ask the person what make you smile, what make you cry. See their reaction. Okay, they need to spend more time on the stage too, uncertainty. That's my humble opinion.
I also want to remind people that the mistakes that we make in our life, because we're not perfect human beings, do make us who we are today, though.
That's true.
And
100%.
so I want to, at the same time, recognize that we're not supposed to be perfect human beings and we don't do everything right. It's a process of learning. You know, when you have a bad situation, how, I think Dr. Love said it, it's how, you know, you deal with it, how you cope with life. I know, you know, for myself, although I know I wasn't in the perfect situation, I had a very deep love for my husband, and we got through a lot of things as a family because we had a deep love for each other. There still was that very deep love and respect that you can still have for your partner if things are not perfect.
God knows.
So, and God gave me a lot of strength that I didn't even think I had.
Yeah.
It was down deep inside, but you know, my faith has grown unbelievable through the process of going through a lot of difficult things in my life. And it's made me the strong person I am today, and also a very compassionate person for people that have problems, people that have challenges in their life. I'm very compassionate about people that have going through difficult times.
People might think that I got a perfect life, but all these mistakes that I made in my life in the past, I agree with you, that's what make who I am now. Yeah. I mean,
so
that's why whenever
to make the mistakes.
Whenever I'm talking to someone, I always say that on my other radio shows, I say, listen, be patient with me because I'm under construction. I always tell people that, I say, if you hear me say something, you don't like it, just be patient. I say, be patient with me because I'm under construction. And we all under construction.
Yeah.
I believe that. It's what we do with the time that's been given to us. You know what I mean? What we do with it. And what legacy that we're going to leave behind. You know what I mean? That's the whole thing.
Dr. Love, what would you like to say? What kind of things have you learned through the different stages? Are there any skills that you've, like, did you learn anything that maybe that we touched upon that you feel like you'll bring into a relationship or think about more of? Or have you learned a little bit about women that you didn't know? Did you learn any particular thing?
I think a lot of what we discussed, it was reassurance. A lot of it was reassurance. If anything, now, I mean, I would say this is more advice for a lot of men and women. And to jump on Dr. DT's bandwagon, you know, before the night ends, or before the show ends, rather. I would say this: if you're in a relationship with somebody, find out who you're with. Don't be with a ghost, but be with the person that you're with, not with the ghost. Be comfortable with the person. Ask questions. Ask questions, but don't accept U-turns.
Yeah, man.
I say that because, again, more often than not, people go to the store, 7-Eleven or Wawa, and they'll buy a Coke can. And as
That's
funny,
what we did when we were in our
yeah,
20s.
but here's the thing,
I
though.
don't think we hopefully not buying the Coke cans as we get older.
As funny as it may be, it's true. A lot of us, we go to the store, we buy a Coke can. We'll drop it on the floor, we'll pick it up. And when you open it, you put it in someone's face. In a relationship, you have to learn how to communicate. You have to.
As a matter of fact, in every single place, all area in your life, we have to communicate.
Yes, and I say it all the time, and I will forever be right until I die. I kid you not. Because communication solves issues. It solves problems. You can't keep your problems in a Coke can. It's no use. It's useless.
And also, being a man, be a powerful leader. It's when you seek peace.
Yes. Oh, and also
because we are born to be leaders.
Yes.
Okay. It's being a strong man, powerful man, the leader that God called us to be. It's when even sometimes you're right, you still apologize. That's what makes you a powerful man. When you seek peace.
I think it's just and it's something that I'm doing now. I think it's being the bigger person. I think that I'm doing now, and it's, I guess, kind of off topic. The relationship with my mother and I, or I'm being I guess a better son in a sense. Not that I was ever bad, but she's widowed.
We all grow up.
Right. Grow up and you see what's important. Your eyes open up, you see what's important, and you be a bigger person and a better person, and you reach out. And last year that wasn't me because of so much tension in the household. And I said, and then I see now that, hey, you know what, let me reach out more often. Let me take 2-3 minutes out of my day. Hey, hello, how are you doing? You might think it costs you so much, but it costs you nothing. The moment it's you.
And you made her day. I just want you to know, as mom.
Sure.
You just made her day.
Yes,
something that simple.
Sometimes hello alone can
I
solve
love you.
so much.
Yes.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, it doesn't cost you anything.
No.
But the moment it's you, it's uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And I've learned that it makes you a better person. You begin to see what's more important in life. Once someone's life is and this is completely off topic. Once life is cut short, that's when you wake up. That's when, or excuse me.
Sometimes it's already too late.
Yeah.
Right. That's when actuality should have been reality, but reality is now. That's where your eyes see everything. That's when you really wake up.
But that's also where God's working in our lives.
Right.
And He teaches us things through the process of life.
Right. And
you couldn't learn that lesson without going through that experience, right?
Because sometimes things are common, cause and effect, and sometimes things are bittersweet where, like T.I. says it, sometimes you lose to gain. You know what I mean? And as hurtful as it may be, sometimes you learn through that process. You know, what was worse just got better. You know, what's bad just got good.
That's one of the reasons I always tell people in a relationship, before you can be comfortable, you have to learn how to be uncomfortable.
And it's so uncomfortable.
That if you do your homework, this is the part that you are uncomfortable. You have to go through the process, just like gold. When gold has to go through a purification first, uncomfortable, okay, to go through the heat before you can get all the beauty, just like diamonds. If you're in a relationship, you have to. It's okay, the stage to be uncomfortable. That's why I say the stage 2.
Yeah.
The stage 2 is the stage that been uncomfortable. This is the time you go back and forth, go back to your cage. Analyze things, but not too much analyzation now. Okay, so you still, in order for you to become comfortable, you have to learn to be uncomfortable. You have to go through the process. You cannot skip that part. This is very important. The stage 2. So before you can become very comfortable, if you do stage 2 well, you master stage 2. When you get to the point stage 5, you get a powerful, long life relationship, a good journey.
And I guess to add on to that, and then I'll end. For those men and women listening out there, here's how I think a relationship should be. God first.
Amen.
Family second.
That's right.
And then work.
That's it.
And always, what's at home, leave it at home. Don't bring it to work. What's at work, leave it at work. And then always put God first, and live your life with faith. And I am the love doctor.
Well, I love the love doctor, and I love Dr. T. So we're going to end the show tonight, but we do have some thank yous that I'm going to give out tonight to see what we can share with you before we end the show.
Before we end the show, I'd like to remind everyone to go to www.discoveryidols.com. Vote for the artist of your choice. Watch the video. There's a competition going on. They need your vote. Show your love and support by voting for them. And if you want to hear some good music, go to www.usdiscoverytalentradio.com and check all the show. If you want to go to YouTube, you can type Discovery Talent Radio. You see all the prior shows that we did. And if you are watching, you have a story to tell, you have a story to share, just give me a call, 561-541-1878, or send me an email, info@discoveryidols.com. We love to hear from you. We love to share your story. You can pretty much consider this platform your home. So please, welcome home. Remember, during the holiday, Thanksgiving, and after Christmas, go out of your way to love, to spread love with everybody. Love on someone. For the Thanksgiving, call someone who knows that is home alone. Share a meal with that person. God will bless you.
Love and kindness are never wasted. They always make a difference.
That's true.
We need to tell people why we're reading this. This is a little card.
This is a thank you before the show always ends. We have a thank you card.
These cards that you see is holding in our fingertips. It's well, mine says love and kindness are never wasted. They always make a difference. So go out there, be kind to somebody, love on somebody, bless them. It comes back.
Mine said you are wow, this is crazy.
That's a good one.
You are one of my nicest Hey, listen, I'm not joking.
I love it.
This is it.
I know.
You guys, you can zoom in and look. This is what it says.
Yeah, it's the truth. It really does say that.
As you can see.
Kinda
You can put it in front of the
kinda goes
camera. That
back
camera
I
there.
think that's filling his love tank. What do you think it is?
Big time. You are one of my nicest thoughts. Well,
That's right. That's true.
that's
Toy.
true. Yes.
Okay. Well, thank you.
No.
Oh,
No. Where's yours?
Oh,
You can't do that.
All right, you pick it for me.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay. What's mine say? Oh, wow. A life is not important except in the impact it has on others' lives.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Deep.
that. I love that.
That's the. Remember, I'm the one
Yes.
who chose
You
it.
chose it. I love
Oh,
him.
man.
That's true. That's
Jesus.
true.
Well,
And he's the one that helps me impact the others' lives. He's got me.
I need a shot right now.
Thank
but
you,
at least
Mr.
we have fun.
Me
We
too.
have fun.
Wow.
The whole thing I'm saying to
Wow.
everyone, God allowed me to create this
Yeah.
platform just to have fun. I love having fun.
And he calls it Global Lovers Connection for a reason. Because he wants lots of
Well, wait
love.
a minute. Why do you call it Global Lovers Connection when we say Global Love Connection?
Because that's when I guess we started.
We
Remember?
started.
We started it as
Is
a lovers connection.
Yes, but people
and
might
then
say.
you changed it to
Yes.
Global
Love
Lover
con-
Connection.
Okay,
That's it.
I mean, this is fun.
Yeah.
This is a place we share our love and we have fun. We don't take, if you take life too serious, guess what?
Yeah.
Life will pass you by.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, if you're out there, you want to have some fun with us, I'm asking you to share this video with your friends. Share this video. It's a place that we don't edit anything. We give it to you raw. You know what I mean? This is who we are. Uncensored,
Yeah.
Uncut.
Uncensored.
uncut.
Real.
Zip.
This is as real.
Sticks and all.
This is as real.
Wow.
And because there's so many mistakes in this show. We're having so much fun.
We're not politically correct.
No,
that's
we're
for
not. We're not. We're having so much. I mean, every day. This is what I'm saying. I'm blessed.
Yes.
I'm blessed. I have so many great friends that you guys, you honor me with your presence. I mean, I will really, forever grateful. You guys, you come here and share your love with me. In return, we sharing our love, our intimate moment with the rest of the world.
That's right.
So,
And our lives, very intimate
yes.
parts of our lives. We're
That's
sharing
it.
with
That's
you
what I'm saying.
that we
There's
don't even
uncut.
think about. I know.
this is it. I mean, just to show people, life is too short. It doesn't, to me, I don't care what people think. I just tell you, this is who I am. I thank God every day for giving me the opportunity to create this platform for everybody, for my friends, and anyone who want to share their story to come. You know what I mean? So, I'll let you finish.
Are there any last minute comments that you wanted to share before we got off the show?
Oh,
that maybe somebody said or
No. We have a
Okay.
ton of people right now who's logging. They're just enjoying us making a fool of ourselves.
Well, thank you for watching us.
They're enjoying us making a fool of ourselves.
I know,
but,
okay.
But in other words, life is too short. I hope you have fun with us. And I'm looking forward to see you guys next week, start Monday. Next Thursday, the same show. Can you tell them what's coming next Thursday?
Yeah, next week we're going to talk about something that happens to all of us. Our belief systems hold places in our unconscious mind that sometimes we sabotage ourselves in some of the things that we want in our life.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to talk a little bit about how that happens. So
Yeah,
it'll be an
that's-
interesting topic.
That will be a good subject.
Mhm.
So, in other words, if you are watching, you want us to discuss a subject, just let us know.
Awesome.
and we'll do the research and we'll come up with the show. And if you believe that we are making a fool of ourselves, which is good because life is so short, you have to make a fool of yourself to laugh at yourself.
That's it.
So in other words, we're
And
not
be
perfect.
transparent.
We be transparent.
We're
Be
out
transparent.
there.
You know what I mean? We will.
Transparent.
We will. I believe. If you enjoy us, share this video because you say, this is a group of people call themselves Global Love Connection, who making a fool of themselves. Social media where millions are watching, so it's fun. We love it.
And you might learn one thing along the way.
Yeah, you might learn because life it's a
Or a
learning.
different way to look at something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want to thank each and every one of you. I love you guys, and thank you for humoring me, and thank you for being part of my beautiful, crazy ideas.
Yes.
We love you.
Good night, folks.
Good night. What time is it? That can't be the right time. 12:52.
11 o'clock. That's
11 o'clock.
amazing.
Are we on ES2?